Patience. Patience can be such a beautiful quality. Let's embody it. I'm Alex Iglesia, and this is Wake Up Epic. Well, we'll do an epic workout for the fifth hexagram. The fifth hexagram starts off by moving forward in the world and then moving into our inner motivation. We'll be wrapping UZAZU around this so that we can embody it very specifically, and then mobility and a few special movements to help you integrate this with your body very fully. Why do we want to do this? Because patience is challenging, and you probably have challenges with the shadow of impatience. And part of you probably knows deeply that there's a timelessness that you're able to cultivate in your life and bring into the world. So we're using the keys of the gene keys, the shadow of impatience, the gift of patience, and the city of timelessness. Let's begin by moving forward out of our neutral space. So if you're starting in a neutral place, and you step forward, that's our first line yang. We get up and active, that's our second line yang. And we go wide, that's our third line yang. Yang, yang, yang. Boom. And we're in mesh. Thank you, UZAZU. So in mesh, whether you're sitting or standing, the idea here is it's totally safe to play. It can be a joy to co-create with other people. You're in a harmonious relationship to what's happening. And of course, we can have varying balanced or imbalanced experiences of that. The top trigram is yin, yang, yin. So we're going to step back into self, up and active, and then narrow and focused. This is about inner motivation. It's self, active, focused. So this is a really great posture just by itself to help you cultivate a state of focus with your own inner motivation. When we put the two together, we've got mesh, joy, collaboration, moving back into inner motivation. And since we're embodying the fifth hexagram, this actually has something to teach us about waiting and patience. What's the embodied story here? From a place of joy and collaboration, from a place of listening to what's happening, this might be a holiday dinner, this could be a board meeting, this could be a jam session with you and your favorite pens, and here you are engaged. And somewhere in there is a shift, bringing that wisdom or part of that experience into your inner motivation. So how much do you need to be able to listen and absorb and receive to let what's going on in the world that you're part of inform what you deeply care about, your inner motivation to act? We'll come back and do a deeper dive on this. Let's turn it into mobility. Now, the mobility for today is all going to be very physiotherapy type or corrective exercise type of movements. Some simple held muscle activations. That's going to really fill in the sense of this pillar, the pillar that gives us our inner motivation. The test of this, though, and this is really fun, is to feel out what it's like to just move around in the world. Now, I really like salsa dancing, so it's really easy for me to just start doing salsa dancing kind of movement. But I want you to find something you can do that is slow, slow enough that you've got some control and you can feel your body, but you're able to just engage with the space. So try that out. What we're going to do is you're going to actually improve the quality of your engagement in the space. So do you have a baseline? You got a little bit of a feel for it? You might have some injuries. You might have just noticed some tightness. Or you might have just disembodied a little bit and just kind of moved all over the place. So do it one more time, and this time notice the general quality, because we're going to be coming back and forth with this, doing some mobility, and then seeing how it impacts your movement quality. So one more time, just feel out what it's like to move around the space. Okay, our first movement is going to start with the legs. You put your feet underneath you. You're already there, right? Give it some space, have some space between your feet. Press your feet down, almost imagine grabbing the ground, and then start to squeeze your feet together. It's going to engage your inner thighs. Just hold it. Press lightly enough that you can breathe pretty easily. I'm able to talk. Hopefully you could have a conversation with me if we were in the same room or on Zoom. Now let that go. Just shake it out a bit. We're going to do the opposite. Feet stay in place, but imagine you're going to try to slide them apart from one another. This is going to engage your outer thighs. So hold that for a few breaths. Again, light enough that you can breathe. We played with some of these ideas a few videos ago, looking at just isometric activations. Relax, shake it out a bit. You're going to come back to pressing together, feet down, leave them where they are, but squeeze legs together. Notice what else engages just automatically. One of the benefits of doing a isometric contraction for a fair amount of time, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, is your nervous system gets to recruit muscle tissues into the action. You literally become stronger by the second. Okay, let that go. One more time, press it out. Don't slide anywhere, but just press it out. Again, notice where else in your core and your body do you feel it. Hopefully you don't feel it in your face, unless you're really overworking it. Okay, let that go and try your movement again. How's the movement feel? Is it easier? Do you feel any more? Do you feel a difference? Because that was our legs, there should have been a kind of dynamic stability that came online for you. It's a really great way to warm up challenging exercises, or warm up your body for challenging exercises, running, lifting, martial arts, those kind of things. Next, let's bring it up to your shoulders. Now, once I had a clavicle that got a bit dislocated, it got really loose in the joint here, and I needed to do a lot of stabilization in the scapula. So these movements are really, really helpful to create a sense of stability that become a ground to act on. Real quick, try moving your shoulders, your arms around the space a little bit. Just notice what that's like. Go slower. See if there's any particular tightnesses or glitches that you notice, or if it just feels smooth. That's fine too. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, hands right by your side, and then reach for the ground. Reaching for the ground depresses your shoulders. You might feel some tingling in your hands. Make sure you're going light enough that this feels pretty good and interesting. Definitely doesn't hurt. Pressing down, depressing your shoulders, engaging your serratus anterior, across your ribs, your lats a bit. Okay, let go. Shake it out a bit. Same thing times attempt number 2. Reach down, depress, push down, push down. Now make sure that your ribs don't lift up. So you'll keep a bit of an engaged core, ribs in, ribs down as you depress. Okay, let that go. Do a retest. Move your arms around. How does it feel? Now you might notice some qualities of your movement. One of the things I notice is I want to move faster. There's a sense of safety in the body that says, hey, let's start going a little bit faster with this. And that's a way to appreciate the quality of the changes that you create for yourself. Next move's a little bit trickier. We want to retract the shoulder blades, but without getting your elbows to go back. So one way to do this, if you don't have a strap or something outside of you, is to put your hands somewhere on your thighs so your elbows are a bit out. And imagine you could take your shoulder blades and pinch them together. So I'm not going to move my elbows. They stay in place, but you're bringing your shoulders back. And once they go, you're not going to go that far. It's a very small movement. At the same time, with your hands on your thighs, gently press down. So you're pressing down as you're taking your shoulders back. So you're adding that depression of the shoulders to the retraction of the shoulder blades. Okay, release that, shake it out. We'll do one more time. How's it feeling? Are you enjoying this? Hands to your thighs. Push back and imagine that your elbows would go back behind you, but there's something in the way. So you're working on the shoulder blades. And then add a gentle press down, enough that you feel your shoulder blades, your shoulders depressing down, engaging somewhere in this area and behind you. Okay, let that go. Check out your movement. Did that create anything for you? We got one more movement, and it's a right side, left side, opposite integration. You might need something else for balance. If that's the case, get something else for balance. It could be a wall or a chair or a friend. Lift one knee to whatever height it can go. And let's make this standard here. Let's take your left knee and your right hand. Right hand goes to the thigh. Press down with the shoulder. Pull back a bit with the shoulder. So down and back. Same movement as before. Press up and across with the leg. So you're going to kind of figure that out. What can you do in there? Make sure you can breathe. And then let go. Same side. Don't switch sides. Do the same side again. Okay? Same thing. Left leg up, right arm on it. Depress, retract the shoulder lightly. Hold it. Keep flexing through the hip. Take the leg up a bit towards the midline so you can engage your psoas as best you can. And let that go. Okay. Compare your left leg to your right. Do you notice a difference? And then try moving. And this time, move with your legs more than you did before. How's that feel? Okay. Any different? Last side. Right leg up. Depress gently. Retract gently with the shoulder. Flex more with the hip. Make sure you can breathe. Your eyes can relax. The more you can breathe and eyes relax, the more your nervous system can say, okay, cool, I'm playing with this, not fighting it. So we want to end the fight with your body, which can take some time. Relax. Let's do that one more time. Shake it out. Lift. Whoa. Find your balance. Retract, depress. Imagine that there's a connection between the two, your hip and your shoulder. There is. Just don't tell anybody. Relax. Shake it out. Compare the two legs in a little march to feel different now. And compare movement, dancing. Okay, so you have created some intelligence and some dynamic stability in your hips and your shoulders. Let's come back now to the pure fifth hexagram, where we start off with mesh and we come into pillar. Now I'll guide you through this a few times mechanically, just the movement. Then we'll do a round focused on the shadows of impatience. Then we'll touch on the gifts of patience, and we'll flow effortlessly into the city of timelessness. You ready? Here we go. Pick a neutral place where you have some room before you, in front of you, and then behind you. Step forward, up and wide. Take a breath in and out. And then step a few steps back, feet together, arms together. Now in the arms, create the depression and the retraction in the shoulders. Make this strong. Press your feet together a bit like you did before. Make your legs and hips strong. Make this strong, stable. This is a key, I can do it, mind-body state. And then from there, release, come back into, yay, fun, doing stuff. Maybe not so fun, but definitely active and engaged and flowing. And then from there, shift back to the pillar again. Create the same engagements, shoulders down, depressed, retracted, legs engaging in. Hold it a little lighter. Make sure you can breathe. Imagine you're going to stay a little longer in this now. And then from there, release. Okay, so you've got the idea. Here we go now. In mesh, impatience. How many places have you been impatient that you haven't been willing to acknowledge it? Do you need any forgiveness about ways you've been impatient? And out of those challenges of impatience, what gifts can start to arise? What are your gifts that have to do with patience? How does patience show up for you? What do your collaborations, your peers, your colleagues have to teach you? What do the experiences with them have to teach you about the patience that you get to bring to the table? And if you were free to play, to participate, then what do you know about the power of waiting? Would you be willing to let go of the way you hold on to time and just let your inner motivation shine? I'll be quiet now. Do the movement just the last few times, 2 or 3 more times. You can imagine you're in a situation. Let it go, come to neutral, and float here in neutral. Soft elbows, arms, shoulders, soft everything. Soft eyes even. Imagine for a moment you are floating in the ocean in your arms, your legs. There's no tension left. Just a gentle harmony and integrity as you float. And then with some hands, rub, scratch, scrape, feel the outside of your body, the back of your head, your skin, back of your legs, front of your legs. Thank you so much for participating in today's epic workout. And may the gifts of patience really flourish for you the next few days. I encourage you to play with this movement practice into 2 ways. 1, do these movements. They'll help your shoulders, they'll help your hips. Second is do the way we've been moving. Bring patience and stability into any actions that you're doing. Also exercise, but also business. So enjoy the process, enjoy it. And I will post a couple more videos for you to play with. I'm Alex Iglesia, and thank you for being epic.